Creativity Cave. I'm Dina Rico, and I'm very excited to have you here. I gotta get my Stampin' Lips on. We've got some really awesome projects going on for today, some exciting announcements and all kinds of good stuff. So, I hope you're ready for a fun afternoon of stamping. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I am just looking for my papers here. I think I got them. I had a lovely weekend. I escaped to my cabin with my family for a short weekend getaway, just overnight, and we had a lovely time. Got a little sun, which I'm excited about. Look. And okay, I got all my stuff in order here. So I'm giggling because I took a shower last night when we got home because I was all sweaty from being out on the water. And then I put my hair up, like way up on the top of my head in a messy bun after my shower. And I fell asleep like that. And so when I woke up this morning, I didn't think I needed to shower since it had just been a few hours, but I have these lovely little kinks in my hair, and I really thought they'd be gone by now, and they're not. But I had to laugh because when I woke up, my hair still wasn't dry this morning. Those of you with long hair probably can relate, but my hair is just got a lot of body in it today, and it's been weird. I don't know. It reminds me of when it's really humid and your hair grows in size and it is humid. You're saying it's so blonde, but it's actually so dark. This is the real color right here. And then over here, you don't notice it as much because there's lots of grays. By the way, I had no intention of dissecting my hair today. I just thought it was kind of funny. So anyway, I'm just giggling about the fact that my hair is big. Usually it's so fine, it usually lays really flat. Okay. Anyway, I hope that you guys, like I said, had a great weekend. The humidity finally let go for a couple days. I think it's gonna kick back up here. We had tons of rain last week. It was like rainy almost every day, and then it was sunny for the weekend, which is usually not how it works. So I'm so excited. And then my son, he is on his way home right now from Colorado. He was supposed to get in here at like noon today, and I don't know when he'll get home. I think the latest was 8 p.m. So his train was 8 hours late, and that's to where we pick him up from, which I'm not sure how far that is from our house. I think an hour and a half or so. So it's going to be a late night for him. And I just have to laugh. He's been keeping us posted, and he's been really bored waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm thinking, you poor thing, you inherited the Rico travel gene, which is not good. So, yeah, I just can't feel bad for him though. Isn't that terrible? I have to giggle. He is on the Snapchat map. I think I talked about this. Maybe it was in my team meeting last week. But I can see him on the Snap map and where he is, and he's in a little train right now, which I think is kind of funny. So that cracks me up. I screenshotted a picture of him on the train on the Snap map, which is just, it makes me giggle. And this weekend, I'll have you know, I was on a boat on the Snap map, which was fun. I had to laugh because at first it popped up as a car, and then it changed to a boat. Well, I think once it realized I was on the water and not on a road. Carolyn says my son is the absolute sweetest. Carolyn, if you would like to have him for a week and you can test that theory, be my guest. he is a lovely person to others. He's a little different at home, as most teenagers are. I always remember once a really good friend of mine, her husband is a doctor, and people would always say, "Is he just this nice at home?" And she'd always smile and say, "Well, I'm sure it's just like at your house." You know, when somebody says they're super nice and at home, they're maybe not quite the same persona. He is great, but he also tests the limit of what parents can handle. Just saying. He, just when you want to just wring his neck, he'll have like a little zinger. Like I'll remember one day we were driving. I remember this so clearly. We all do. We were at a stoplight where we used to live, and we were just stuck at the light, like we missed it or something. Like it was one of those things where that light was always red or something. I can't remember. And so I think somebody in the car was grumbling about it. And he says, "Well, aren't you just a little ray of sunshine?" And oh my gosh, that stuck. It was so funny. We giggle about it all the time. Like he just has these little one-line zingers that just crack me up. So anyway, I think it's why we haven't killed him. But he's got a few years to go yet, so we'll see. On the flip side of that, he did call us on Sunday morning wondering if the fact that his account said that there was $3 available in it, if that meant he only had $3 left. And we did confirm, yes, that was true. You spent all your money. I think he's learning how when you have a debit card, they don't the things you've purchased don't always post right away. And apparently he had a good time on his trip. So I'm looking forward to seeing all about that when he gets home. I think it's been a long day for him to be stuck on a train with only $3 in his account. Life lessons. Okay, so anyway, well, enough about that. I have, like I said, some really awesome projects to share with you today. And I also have some fun stuff coming up. So I'm anxious to share all of that information with you. So I'm going to flip my camera and, well, now before y'all think I'm heartless, no, I'm not. He needs to learn. 2, if he needed life and death rescuing, sure. Snacks, no. But I will tell you that we did purchase snacks for him on the way there, and I sure hope he didn't eat them all. I'm sure he's already struck all kinds of deals with the other kids on there who hopefully didn't spend all of their money. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera, so close your eyes for just a moment. Yeah, Linda, you're probably right. He probably did eat them, but live and learn, you know what I mean? Okay, so a couple things. First off, we have very soon a really awesome July through December holiday catalog kickoff. And yes, it's the July catalog, but it actually launches in August. Anyway, and this is going to be just like we've done many times before, the holiday kickoff party. I'm very excited about it. We have lots and lots of fun stuff planned. You can get registered for this. The cost is $10. I believe I put the link in the description of this video. And this is going to start in August on the 3rd, but the group is open and we're getting everybody in there. If you are a member of Stamp Happy Academy Basic or Premium, this is one of the bonus perks that you get to enjoy as part of that group. And so you don't need to register. You can just go to the Stamp Happy Academy in the events page, the events tab will have the kickoff information, and you can request to join that. Also, I'm very excited about my Stamp Fall Stampapalooza opens tomorrow, and I am so going to just reprint this whole thing. The registration for this opens tomorrow. If you are a member of my team, please watch the team email for information about this. And there's special discounts for team members. If you are not a team member, you can get registered with the early bird registration, which goes through August 18th. So it's about a month. Can't remember what today is. Let's see, will my watch tell me? Oh, today's the 19th. So it's almost a month for early bird registration. But this is going to go live at noon tomorrow. It'll be all the information will be posted on my blog. I'll send an email out and all of that good stuff. We've been working on this behind the scenes for quite a while, and we're very excited about it. This is my event going on with Barb and Kelly. And we also are having the business portion. We've done that in the past. And so there will be a full day of business presentations if you're interested in that part. Otherwise, the rest is just stamping. And the two are separate to register. So you can do just the business, just the stamping, or both, or one, not the other. You get it. But like I said, we've got an early bird registration, and all that information will be posted tomorrow. I'm super excited about it. This event will be happening the 22nd through the 26th of September. It is virtual. We just still weren't comfortable holding an in-person event quite yet with all of the variables in the air and all of that stuff. So more details on this will be coming out tomorrow. So I'm very excited. Also, if you would like to purchase from me, that really rocks my world. It helps continue to bring awesome videos just like this one for free to you each week. And I have a host code this month, which is M774SPS3. And when you order from me, you get to enjoy some awesome perks. The first of which is when your order is over $50, you'll get this amazing Expressions in Ink All-Star Tutorial PDF. It's a 12 project tutorial with videos and instruction, in dimensions in both English and metric units. You can also purchase this individually for $15, or you can get it for free when you purchase through my online store, which is a great deal. We also have our DSP paper sale going on, and I might not be using any DSP really today, but this is a great special that's happening during the month of July. That's what month we're in. Final answer. Anyway, you can get these 9 papers for 15% off, which is a great deal. And there's some really wonderful papers. I really love all of them. So it's kind of a great deal. Okay, and then I have 2 classes going on this month here at the Creativity Cave. The online Plentiful Plants online class comes out at the end of the week, and we're actually just sorting the cardstock for that right now. There's still plenty of time to get in on this one. It's a really great class. I'm very excited with the projects. There's a couple of fun folds, actually several fun folds in this one, and some really great ways to use the items that come in this bundle. This one has been pretty popular, so make sure you get registered for it. We would love to have you be a part of it. It's a great class. And then also my Color and Contour Creativity to Go kit comes out next week. And these projects are amazing. I'm very excited about them. This is a really wonderful bundle of products. There is a great set of stamps and dies that go together. And I'm going to give you a ton of inspiration with this one. You're not going to want to miss this one. So again, you can get registered for all of those things in the description of this video. The links are in there. And then today we had a couple of guest requests that I'm going to try and take care of for you. I always watch your guest requests week to week, so sometimes if I can't do them, feel free to ask again. I'm happy to try and fit them in wherever possible. A couple of you asked for some things I don't quite have yet, but they're actually on my list, so that doesn't mean you won't see them. Just keep going. So our first card was one of those requests, and that was to use the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. And I really like this set, and it's one I haven't done a ton with. I can't even tell you really why, but I have actually been itching to do this technique with this set. So when somebody requested it for today, I thought, ooh, perfect time. So what I'm going to do is kind of sort of a variation on Joseph's coat. And if you've never done this technique, it's kind of an oldie but goodie. But I've got a lot of tips and tricks to go along the way with you, so I think you're going to enjoy it. I'm going to start by saying this stamp, which is kind of the centerpiece of the set, is a really big one. That's what she said. And I am going to use my Stamparatus because it's so much easier to work with a stamp set when it's a larger set like this. And a couple of tips for you. So I want to do Joseph's coat, and I was playing with some colors on just a scrap of paper and my ink blenders, and so I used 3 colors, and this was just a good way to practice if I thought the colors were going to go nicely for my project. So I'm using, let's see, blah, blah, blah. Pale Papaya, Calypso Coral, and Flirty Flamingo. That's in the middle. And they're sort of blended together a little, just so I could see, will they look nice or won't they? Okay, so I wanted to put them on my card, but I want to also make sure that I can add some leaves. I love this leaf, and I wanted to be able to sprinkle some leaves in here. So in order to do that, what I wanted to do was ensure that I could get the placement right. So here's a couple of tips for you. First off, I'm going to ink this up. And by the way, I'm going to throw my stamp case under here because that makes it easier to ink. I'm going to ink this up with Pale Papaya, which is my lightest color of ink by far. And I'm going to throw a scrap paper in here. And I'm going to stamp down this on scrap just because I want to get rid of the ink. So what's left is a little lighter. Okay. And the reason is I want to be able to see where everything is so that I can add some leaves. So to do that, I'll take my Pear Pizzazz ink. And by the way, if you are not familiar with the Joseph's coat technique, it's actually pretty cool. We're going to create a very colorful background, and then we're going to emboss, and we're going to add some black ink over the top of everything we've embossed, and it will resist where we've stamped. So just watch and you'll see it all happen. Okay, so now what I did is I stamped 3 leaves on here in my Pear Pizzazz. But if you know Joseph's coat, you know we're going to cover this with ink at the end. So I want to make sure my leaves stay green. And the best way to do that is to stamp and emboss them with Versamark. By the way, today we're using the ugly Versamark, not the pretty one, because if we get, some ink in places we don't want, it's going to be okay. All right, so I'm going to clean off my stamp, and then I'm going to and the fact that I'm using a photopolymer stamp makes this so easy, is I'm going to take and stamp Versamark ink right over the top of my leaves. And then what we're going to do is emboss them with clear powder. Okay, so these 3 leaves we're going to emboss first. So I'm going to bring in my clear powder, and we'll just get some ink on here. By the way, this is like three or 4 containers of clear powder, just in case you were like, wow, my container didn't come with that much. It's because I dumped several in here at once. And I actually think that was the result of a little ordering mishap back in the day. Okay, so now I'm going to heat emboss this. By the way, this is one of those techniques that's really fun if you like experimenting. If you like quick and easy cards, this technique is not for you, but it'll be fun to watch. Okay, so you can see it's melting That clear powder, I love seeing that happen, by the way. And there we go. Okay. So everything is melted on here. So now what we can do is we're going to set aside our Stamparatus for the time being. I'm going to throw that paper in here just to protect it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my grid paper here. And I want to do my ink blending on this paper. And I can see the stamped images pretty well on here because I stamped it with that ink first. But what I want to do is get all of the color on these beautiful flowers. Okay, and because I put the ink down, or I stamped the images down, I can kind of see where I'm putting the color. So what I want to do is basically put a big swirl of color over each of the blooms. Okay, and we're going to lose the detail real quick, and that's okay, because again, we just want to see. It was more so we could get our leaves placed exactly where we wanted them. Okay, so I want first of all, I want to make sure that I can see all three colors that I'm going to use today, that I don't lose all of them in the process of doing this stamping. So I'm going to put the most of my lightest color, just because again, I don't want to lose out this pretty color. I want it to show, and then because it's the lightest color, it can easily kind of disappear once I start adding the other colors. So I'm trying to be good about getting a lot of it on there. So that looks pretty good. And if necessary, I can refer to the stamp set so I can kind of see where those flowers lie. Okay, next up, I'm going to take the next darkest color, which is actually Flirty Flamingo. And I've got my pink blending brush, so I'm just going to pick up lots of Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to kind of brush in the center of each of these. So a much smaller swath of color. Okay. And I will tell you, every time you do this, you're probably going to get a little different look. And again, I'm trying to make sure that there's still some of the lightest color showing. And then, of course, finally, we're going to do our last color, which is actually Calypso Coral. Probably in part because my Calypso Coral was most recently inked of the three of these. And so the color is going to come out a little bit more vibrant. But we're going to try and just put a little bit of color in the very center of each of these. Okay. And then what inevitably happens is you're like, wow, I lost all of my Flirty Flamingo. I gotta add some more. And you can. It'll be fine. Okay. And then when you do that, it does kind of blend everything a little bit more too. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. All right, so now what I want to do is take this piece that I have stamped, and I'm going to bring it back to my Stamparatus. Okay, we'll get rid of that paper. I'm going to position it back here where it was in the corner at the bottom here. And then we are going to stamp this. Again, we're going to use our dirty Versamark, just because we're going to probably stamp this a couple times. Now, this is one of those kind of distinctive stamps that Stampin' Up! Has, that's got kind of some texture to it. And also, I kind of want to make sure this baby stays in place. So I'm just going to hold the paper down Put it back in place, and we're going to ink it up and stamp it once again. Okay, just, whoops. Well, there it is. Okay, because I want to make sure I got really good ink coverage on here. So that looks pretty good. Okay, next step, put it through the white, or pardon me, clear powder. Now this time, there's going to be a lot more on here. Oh, and there's one more thing I wanted to do with my clear, and I forgot to do this on my practice one. I did actually practice this before doing it with you all, and that is I want to put the little dotty center in the center of each of these, and we'll do that with the Versamark as well. And the beauty of that is it's going to preserve those center colored bits. Okay. All right. Now let's dip the whole thing in our powder. And there's gonna be a lot of powder. And I'm gonna flick that off. Ooh. Note to self, do that in the garbage.
Is there glitter everywhere?
Yes, well, it's not glitter, it's embossing powder. There is powder everywhere. And see, now you can see all that detail on here. Okay, so we're going to heat this. Now, at this point, depending on how it looks to you, you may want to run this through the powder one more time. And again, the reason is just because this is kind of that distinctive, it's not a solid stamp. And we want to make sure you get all that detail. Kind of solidly stamped. Because we're going to put black ink over the top of this. And of course it's going to emboss or resist all of that where the embossing is. Okay, so that looks good. So pretty. I already love it. Okay. Somebody's saying they're having blurry issues. So when I'm doing stuff like this, chances are things are going to go in and out of focus. But there's also, if you change the setting, that helps too. Okay. So a little bit more powder got picked up, and I know I am playing hard and fast, tempting the fates of stamping by embossing this over my embossing powder, but I think it's going to be okay. I kind of want to dip it in here while it's still a little hot so that it sticks a little better. Ooh, that worked. I'm going to flick it one more time. Okay, it's got a little more powder in the center. And you can put several layers of powder on, that's okay. Okay, I think we're ready. Now, some of you might be like, why is she going to put black ink over this? It's pretty. It's because it's a cool technique. You don't have to do it if you don't like it. Don't worry. Okay. All right. So now here's the important part. We're going to take, and first of all, you kind of want to get all of the powder that, oh gosh, you should see there's powder everywhere. You kind of want to get all the powder off. Because then we're going to take a black ink pad. And then we're going to go right over the top of this quite thoroughly. And I'm rubbing this right on my cardstock. Okay, and you know what this kind of reminds me of? And pardon the expression a little bit, but I think the name will sort of paint the picture, is like an oriental rug or fabric, like Asian-y fabric. Like kimono-y stuff. Okay. All right, now we're not done. I've got a tissue here and I'm going to wipe off the embossing, and you'll see the colors start to kind of pop again. Look at that. So it's pretty cool. So now we've got a dark background. And then all of those colors popped. Ooh, a silk painting. Yes. This reminds me of silk fabric. My mother-in-law loves to sew, and she has traveled the world quite a great deal, and she's got all this gorgeous fabric from all kinds of exotic places. And she has gone to China and Japan quite a few times and brought back, well, and she also brought back some really cool stuff from India. I'm pretty sure it was India. So anyway, these are all things that remind me of that. Okay, so isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so there we go. Now, what I'm going to do next is, first of all, remember that my hands are dirty. And also, do not let me forget, I have something to show you. I got some fun stuff in the mail, and I meant to do that before I started stamping, to do my little show and tell stuff. Okay, so I cleaned off my hands, so hopefully I'm in a little better shape. All right, now what I want to do is, and by the way, at this point, you could actually go over the whole thing and cover it again and heat emboss it if you wanted, but I don't think that's necessary at this point. So what I want to do now is take and kind of finish up my card a little bit. So I've got a layer of Calypso Coral, pardon me. I'm going to just close this too. So we're going to layer it to a Calypso Coral panel and then put it on a Pale Papaya card base. Now this is all warped and everything, so I'm just going to kind of curl it backwards a little bit just so that it's not quite so warped. Okay, and we're going to put a good amount of adhesive on here just because that way it will lay down nicely. And this is the beauty of seal, is if you don't get it down perfectly the first time, you can reposition it, which I just love. Okay, that looks pretty good. Isn't that beautiful? And then what I'm going to do is, I saw somebody said it needs some gold, and yes, I think gold would be very pretty with this. We can add some gold accents. And I'm trying to find I don't have any poop. I was looking for some, I have some gold ribbon, but don't think that's going to work. Remember when we used to have gold thread? That would have been amazing for this. Oh, those were the days. Okay, so I want to use Thinking of You, because that was one of the cards that was requested for today. So I'll stamp Thinking of You in black ink on here, and I die cut this little kind of stitched flag. This is from the oh, what are these dies called? Oh, why can't I think of the name? Labels. Tasteful Labels dies. There you go. Okay. Ooh. I know what I can do. I'm going to take some of my baker's twine and wrap this with a little bit of black. Okay. So we'll just put a little on here, like so. Janice says, I always seem to know exactly what sentiment will fit on the die. I have just a horrible secret that's just going to make you not nearly as impressed with me, Janice. I tested it before I went live to make sure it would fit. So I did my homework. That's how I knew. I know it's not as magical, is it anymore? The magic has been lost, hasn't it? I just know it. I'm sorry. Okay, now I'm going to take and put a couple of dimensionals. Now I make it seem easy. I did play with this before I went live just to make sure that it was all going to work out how I had it in my head, so I didn't have a big ugly mess in front of me before. But if it makes you feel better, the next card I have not yet made, so if that's a disaster, you'll know. Okay. So I am just going to place that on there like so, and that looks good. And then, of course, we're going to add some spritzing to this. Okay, so I'm going to smack, I should probably close this. I'm going to smack this with my clear Wink Stella for some iridescent sparkles. Okay, so that always is pretty, and it's kind of hard to see on the camera. And then last but not least, we're going to put it on our card base, which is pale papaya. Ooh, just looking for my bone folder. Okay, so there we go. Oh, so pretty. And then I'm going to get regular dimensionals for this. And then we're going to add a couple additional gold accents. Okay, so we've got that popped up. I'm going to trim this just a little shorter so it doesn't stick out and look bad. Oh my gosh, we didn't even discuss this yet. Who's excited for the Olympics? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. They start on Friday. Yay! I have to tell you, I love the Olympics. Like, I love them. Oh, my favorites are gymnastics and swimming. And diving, and then like kind of the endurance-y running, because I guess that's what my kids do. Oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, the triumph of the human spirit. It's so fabulous. Okay, so then I've got my gilded gems, and I'm going to be honest with you, these probably won't stick super well to the embossing areas. So you want to make sure you kind of touch them on areas that aren't embossed. Okay, so I'm putting a couple right there, and then I'll put another one up here. I always like kind of having three. So there we go. There is our card. So fabulous. I think it turned out pretty great. Okay. All right. So our next card was another guest request, and this one is going to feature the Measure of Love stamp set. And this is one I just recently acquired myself. And so I had a little idea, and we'll see if it comes together. Hopefully it will. But I was looking at the catalog, and I was, for some inspiration with this. So I started with a color combination, and I've got Coastal Cabana. Oh my gosh, struggle bus. Coastal Cabana. This is Poppy Parade, and then I've also got Whisper White, or blah, not Whisper White, white, basic white. That's what they call it now. Oh my gosh, so tricky. Okay, so I've got these colors. So that is my color combo, and I'm going to use basic gray as kind of my neutral color for stamping rather than like black. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the scale thing. Around here we like to call that a measurer, which is just sort of a silly little joke here at the Creativity Cave, because I have to weigh packages that we send out and we call it the measurer. Same goes for ruler. You know, sometimes you just can't think of the word, so you gotta make up your own. Okay, so there's my little scale, which is just so cute. And then on top of my scale, I wanted to stamp, well, okay, here's the big dilemma. Do I stamp cupcakes on top of the scale? I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, or instead, should we stamp the bowl? I feel like maybe I originally started with the cupcakes, but now I feel like I should stamp the bowl, and let me explain why. Do y'all have some, what is it called? Corningware, like old Corningware. I think it is like old. And this reminds me of like my grandma and my mom a little bit, but mostly my grandma. She had a bowl, a Corningware bowl that was like blue-ish. I would say it's probably more pool party. But it was really pretty. And so maybe we should use that. Okay, and the bowl, so I'm going to change what I originally intended to do. So the bowl is going to be blue and gray. Okay, with, of course, a little red. Beverly still has some of these bowls. Oh, that's so awesome, Beverly. Okay, so there we go. There's my bowl. Now I'm going to put this on in Cabana, but I'm going to stamp and make sure that stamp's okay. So I'm going to pull out my little mat here, and I want to clean this. I don't know if you guys knew that this is a brand new set. This is the first time I'm using it. And sometimes there's like a little film on stamps the first time you use them. But if you clean them, it really helps. Okay. So now I'm going to stamp that on there like so. Oh, so cute. Oh my gosh. All right. And then we're going to add the little row of hearts. And we're going to do that in Poppy Parade. Hi.
Hi. The numbers for scoring are not on there.
Oh, one moment. I can get you there.
Okay. I was trying to do it without asking you.
Oh,
And I've used all my resources. So.
there we go. Oh, look at that, you guys. It's so cute. Okay, but just wait. Okay, but I know, right? Okay, brief intermission.
Sorry, everybody.
Okay, if you go. If you go in there, just
it.
yep, they're gonna be in the description of those. Sorry, I had to get a help for my assistant. Oh, and if you're breaking down those boxes, you guys rock. We are. Thank you. They are so good. Okay, so there we go. Sorry about that, guys. All right, now next up on our scale, there's a little, you know, measurer, because we like to use these terms. So I'm going to hold off. I will stamp that in a minute. But what I want to do is color the scale itself a little bit. So to do that, I'm going to use some Pool Party Stampin' Blends. And I will just add a little bit of color kind of around the edges of just this face thing. And we'll leave the rest kind of as is. Okay, so that was my dark Pool Party, and then I'm gonna blend everything out with my light. Okay, now I wanted to kind of bring in the pattern of those bowls, because like they're a pretty floral pattern, right? The bowl you have probably didn't have hearts on it. At least that's not how I remember it. But the stamp had hearts on it, so we had to use that. But what I'm going to do is bring in the pattern, and I think it's going to knock your socks off. At least I hope it will. Okay, that looks pretty good. Then we'll do this. I didn't want it to smear anywhere because you know that sometimes happens. So I'm just going to line up the dot in the center of this. Ooh, sorry, I got to bring it back here so I can see. I think I got it. There we go. Okay. So there's that. And then, of course, on here, we're going to add our sentiment too.
We need this so we can do it at the same time.
Oh, yeah, there's one out there, you know.
I know, but I'm going to do one and she's going to do one.
Oh, I get it. Well, aren't you guys just fancy?
Sorry.
Okay, then for the sentiment, I'm going to do our friendship tips the scale. Get it? Get it? Get it? I figured you probably did. Okay, but, and you can put, like, there's stuff you can put in the bowl, like apples. Okay. But here's where it gets crazy. At least I think so. All right. I've got my card base, which, as previously mentioned, is Coastal Cabana. But I embossed this with the embossing folder, that floral pattern. And this totally reminds me of that, of those bowls that my grandma used to have. So you can do it either the embossed side or the debossed side. I kind of like the debossed side personally. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere this panel to my card. And then I also, as previously showed, have that little thing right there. Okay, so I wanted to take, this is some of the ribbon from the Playful Pets ribbon combo pack, which you can still get. And I just want to add a little bow to this. What folder is that? That's a good question. Let me look. I'll pull my catalog out. I can't think of the name of it, but it matches some of the host party pattern play party, host party. Oh my gosh, I can't even say it. Hostess pattern party DSP. Okay, that's so cute. I'll put this on with a glue dot. Okay, so we'll just add that like so. And I think think what I'm going to do is adhere this directly to my card. And then I'm going to pop up the other piece. So this really came out just kind of as I had envisioned in my brain. Yes, very retro. Thank you. That is so the right word. And look, there's something else stamped on the back of this. But no worries, it's all good. Okay. So there we go. Oh, isn't that adorable? So I think this is going to be kind of a fun bundle to work, or not, it's not a bundle, it's just a stamp set. I think it's going to be kind of fun to work with this. These little flowers also coordinate with that DSP that I was mentioning. Let me pull out my catalog so we can find that folder on here. It is Pretty Flowers. How about that? Yeah, right there. And that embossing, or not, oh my gosh. I am really struggling to talk today. I haven't talked all weekend. That's the problem. This is the Pattern Party DSP. So there we go. All right. So isn't that fun? Oh, I love it. Just one little stamp set. Okay. Next card. This one, this one I've been wanting to do for a little while as well. This is going to feature a little watercoloring goodness. And I think you will like this one as well. Hey, Whitney. There should be like a little white thing. We put some, just like that much water in it. It should be.
Oh, in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to do a little watercoloring, and I'm going to use the Flowers of Friendship. I think this was a guest request from a week or two ago. Ooh, thank you so much. And I wanted to do a little watercoloring. So I've got my water brushes, and ooh, we'll give this a good little squeeze to get the water flowing. I'm going to grab my little, I've got a rag that I use to get the water flowing. Okay, so on this, I'm going to kind of use the several of the new in colors because they work together quite nicely. So I've got 4 of them, and one of them is the polished pink. Actually, sorry, we're going to go in order. We've got Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, Fresh Freesia, and Soft Succulent. We're going to use them in that order. And I've got a little piece of my Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And like I said, I've got my, my watercolor brush going. So I'm going to start by just taking clean water and going across with a stripe. And I love this this is a wash brush, and I really love it for that purpose. And I can see I don't have any ink in here, and I didn't want to re-ink this before I did my previous card. So let me grab my re-inker. Another way you can use your re-inkers is this method, where you either squeeze the ink pad to the lid, or you can take a clear block, and this is actually really handy, and just put a little re-inker on the block like that. And then I can just pick up the color from there. Okay, and it's like paint. Okay, and when I do that, it'll go on here like so, and then the water that's already on there helps it kind of just blend out and stay sort of in those lines. All right, so now I'm just going to clean my brush off a little bit, and we'll do our next stripe, and we want to make sure that this does not touch the first stripe because we don't want those colors to bleed in with one another. Okay, same thing, and there's no ink in the lid of that either, so we'll just pull some out with our re-inker on here, and literally like 1 drop will do you. Okay, so I'll put that color, and look, you can see it even kind of blends on its own, but we can help the process a little bit. And it's just so pretty. And again, we're keeping it separate from the rest. And then this is where my my brush is easier to clean on this this is like an old burp rag of my kids. Okay, next up, as you probably figured out, we're gonna do fresh freesia. Fresh freesia. I can't say freesia without saying freesia. I don't know. It's probably just me. Ooh, I forgot to put my stripe down, but let's kind of look at this. It's probably going to be no big deal. What I like about the stripe is sometimes it tones the color down and it prevents you from getting like a dark spot, or I kind of like to think of it as a hot spot on your coloring. So that's helpful. Now, I'm not going to stamp another stripe, or I'm not going to put another stripe down. What I'm going to do instead is do a little stamping. Okay. Next up, we'll stamp, and that will give us the right spacing for everything. Well, actually, no, we don't have to. Sorry. We could. But I'm just going to take, some soft succulent. It's going to be my final color. And we're going to put soft succulent down at the bottom. And again, I just dabbed a little on my, I was a little worried that was going to be too dark, but it's fine. I dabbed a little on my, my rag. Okay, now, this is important. We need to allow everything to dry completely. So I'm just going to take my heat tool to speed that process along. And we like it when it doesn't dry exactly perfect. This upper colors are about dry because I've been yapping this whole time pretty good. But I like when it's not completely even. And then I'm going to flip it over and do a little heating. Oh, that turned out okay. Phew. Just to keep my paper from warping. All right, now what I want to do is add a sentiment. And we've got thank you, many thanks, big thanks. It's all under here. Okay, so I'm going to take this thank you for everything, because I think that's just kind of the right thing. And on here, I want to use Stays On, just because this is a watercolor card. So I'm going to ink this baby up good with my Stays On and stamp it right there. And I'm really just giving it a second to come off. And oh, perfect. Okay. So then what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of stamping to this. We've got this awesome stamp set, and there's this row of these cute little flowers, which I just love. So I thought we would just stamp them going across. And what I'm going to do is use the corresponding ink color to the watercolor strip that I colored. But here's the deal. I want to re-ink this ink pad because I have been using it a ton lately. And I thought, it's always good to see how people re-ink their ink pads. You can really see that it's kind of dry because it's really light on here. And so I'm just going to cover this with reinkers. And I used to go like this and hope that it would blend in really nice. Hope for the best, right? But now what I do is I've got a spoon. I got these at Target, like 3 for a couple bucks. And I use this to work the ink into my ink pad. And I'm going to go in both directions because this really helps get the ink worked in there. And then if my ink is too juicy, like I over inked it, I can just work more of the ink into this pad. Now don't worry, you're not wasting the ink. It will come back to the surface, especially once you store it. But this is how I re-ink my inkers. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is with my freshly re-inked pad, I'm going to ink up my stamp and stamp it right over the top of my watercoloring. and you can see it shows up. It's going to be subtle. That's okay. We want it subtle. Okay, and then I'll repeat with the other colors that I've got here. And I'm quickly cleaning off my stamp in between. Okay, that one was a little brighter. Okay, next up is fresh freesia. Isn't freesia the flower that in The Devil Wears Prada, she says, there better not be freesia here, when they're in Paris at the end. It makes me giggle. Okay, and last but not least, we've got our soft succulent. I'm going to stamp that at the bottom. There we go. Now, you know what would be so awesome on this card? As if we added some in-color gems. It'd be even more awesome if I could find them. Hold on. Oh, we're going to crack open a brand new package of them. Okay, so these new in color, these are actually jewels. I don't know what the difference between a gem and a jewel is, but either way, they're pretty. So we're going to take and put a few of these on. So I'll use my Take Your Pick tool, and we'll match up the gems with the color. I don't like that big one. We're going to take that back. Kidding. And we're going to do a little whoops. And what I'm trying to do here, let's get some fresh tacky stuff on my thing. What I'm trying to do here is make it so they're not all like in a row together. They're in different spots. Okay, and then that one goes there, and that one goes there. So now we've got a few gems just kind of sprinkled and scattered on here. Okay, now let's put it all together in a card. So I've got a half sheet of fresh freesia for my card base. We'll give that a good crease. And then I've got a layer of black that will line up nicely with this to really make everything kind of pop, and we'll be good to go. So I've got gems on there, so I'm going to adhere it to this layer, just making sure I don't get too close to the edges. By the way, for those of you who've been on here, I just got a text message from Carl. It's going to be even later now. They're delayed. His train is coming home from Colorado, and he got stuck in Omaha for like 4 hours this afternoon. Oh, that poor child. I hope you can hear the sarcasm in my voice. Welcome to life. It doesn't always work out. Oh, there we go. Isn't that pretty? It's just a really simple card. Of course, you can do this with a whole bunch of color combinations and just have fun playing with it. I love the sentiment is so pretty. So yeah, another fancy card. Now my final card is kind of one I actually did play around with a little bit to try it out. I wanted to also use the, what are they called? These dies. Give it a whirl. I haven't had a chance to play with them, but I'm hoping that either tomorrow on my blog I will make a project with these, or next week during our live we'll use these. So check for both. You never know. Tomorrow night I have a blog hop. Sorry. This stamp set was one I really wanted to use, and I hadn't played with it yet. And so I thought today was kind of a good day for that. We had storms run through all week last week, and it was just kind of a bunch, you know, just one after another. They kind of came through Iowa. There was even tornadoes last week too. None were here, but there was some here in Iowa somewhere. Anyway, actually, it was where I used to live. But I thought this would be kind of a cool card to make because this is such a great stamp set, and I love the sentiments in it. I can't help myself because I just love sunshine. So we're going to use the sunshine sentiment. That was actually what started the card. And then I was like, okay, what can I do to make that? So we have these beautiful sun rays, and we're going to take and stamp them. I'm going to use my scrap grid paper here because we're going to go right off the edge on this. And of course, we got to use Daffodil Delight because it's the best. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the corner, and I wanted to make sure that the corner would be covered. Okay, so I'm using Daffodil Delight, and this is one of those stamps with lots of texture. So if you're looking at it going, well, that's not right, this is actually how it's supposed to look. And then I'll just kind of go from there, and we'll just stamp those rays down. Pretty simple to do. Okay, and it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. I just love how the rays kind of go. All right, like that, and then we'll finish over here. On this side, like that. Now, in case you're thinking, well, what about this? Don't worry, we've got it covered. So there's this really cool die set called, I don't know if it's Border Buddies or something like that. And there's really great dies in here, and you'll be seeing a lot of these because I really like this set of dies. I used this one, I think, last week on a sunshine card. See, I can't even help myself. It's just all about the sunshine. So I die cut my piece earlier, and what I'm going to do is kind of position this over the top. And you know what? This didn't really stamp the way I wanted it to. So we're going to start, we're going to give this one more shot. Okay. There we go. I needed to start down a little bit more. So we're just going to go around again quick because I can't have this showing. There we go. Okay, much better. All right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to adhere this to a layer of Daffodil Delight. Now I started with, I believe this is 3 1/4 by 5-ish. Let's measure because I can never remember. Yes, 5 by 3 1/4. I can remember, it turns out. Okay, see on this side, none of the ends were showing. On this side, there are a couple ends showing. I don't think that is the end of the world. But what was more important is the bottom part is not going to show. So I'm going to put this on here like that. And you can just adjust the sizes of your cardstock. Here's another one I did, and I did a little better job. A good thing to play with. Now I die cut this on a scrap of cardstock, and here's another thing. I could just make this piece a little bigger, but what I wanted this piece to do was go over this, and you can see it's going to cover that. And I can even bring it up a little bit too, so that you don't see that. So I can trim this at 5 inches. Okay. All right, and then we're just going to position that right there. Oh. Okay, so next up, what I want to do is stamp my sentiment on here, and we're going to do that in some Coastal Cabana ink, which, here we go, found it. I've done a really good job of messing everything up here in my office, so that's good. Okay, a little sunshine for your day. So I just think this is such a good thinking of you card. Like, who wouldn't be thrilled to receive a card like this in the mail? Okay. So fun. Just gonna adhere that and stick it on like so. So simple. Okay. And we're gonna put this together with a Coastal Cabana card base, of course. I mean, come on. Like that. And I think we'll pop up the layer. Yes, this would be perfect for my Sunshine and Rainbows group. I totally agree. Ooh, I am getting dangerously low. This is the last of my regular size dimensionals. I need to refill my stock. Don't worry, I probably have 40 packages here. I get a little twitchy when I have less than 20, so I keep my stocks pretty well supplied on dimensionals. I could never run out of dimensionals. That would be like sacrilege. Oh, okay. Now, I'm going to take this, and I just wanted to kick it up one notch. So I'm going to take and put some lines of Clear Wink Estella on here to just kind of go along with the stripes. So when you get this card, it's got a little bit of shimmer to it. And you probably can't see that, but it's pretty. Okay. And that's it. Really a simple card. Nothing terribly fancy about this one. Now, as I was sitting here thinking about this card, as I make it for you, I wanted to try one other idea. Okay. And in this idea, I'm going to, I want a rainbow. Okay. A rainbow of sun rays, which I realize is not reality, but I don't care. It's my card. I can make it my own. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to choose a rainbow. So I'm going to go with the Flirty, kind of a soft rainbow. Flirty, pale papaya, daffodil, pear, and pool party. And if we need more colors, we can add them. Okay. And I'm just going to start stamping the rays. Okay. So this time I'm going to come in from this side and stamp them. We've got our recently inked papaya. This is probably going to be a little juicier than I want it to be, but that's okay. And you know what? I don't like that, so I'm just going to stamp it again. Ooh, that kind of worked. Kind of fill in that white spot in the upper edge. Okay, so we're cleaning in between. Of course, we'll get some yellow in here. Ooh, I gotta make sure I inked that whole thing up. Okay, this is looking kind of cool. There we go. And we're running out of room. That's okay. One more cleaning of a stamp. Just making sure. There we go. So that's cool. So I will finish this card up probably much the same way as I did this one, but this one in rainbows. So I thought that was kind of fun. So that's just another option. Now I know the sun's rays are not rainbow colored, but they can be in your world. So there you go. All right. So let me bring in all the cards that I created for you. I just had to test out and see if that would work, and it did. I do like the look of it. I've got all these open ink pads, which I know are just getting a little out of control here. There we go. I feel better. Like I won't ruin anything. So there we go. I'll make this and post it at some point for you. So we've got that card. We have this little watercolor simple card with flowers of friendship. Then we've got the Measure of Love. Is that the right name of it? Yes, Measure of Love card. And then at the beginning we did our kind of modified Joseph's Coat technique with the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. So super fun, kind of a good variety of cards today. So I hope you loved these projects. Thank you all for being here. Again, the thumbs up just rocks my world. If you could just click on the thumbs up, that would be so awesome. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just talk about my classes and things going on this month if you missed it at the beginning. So I've got 2 classes that are coming out. One comes out this week, one comes out next week. The Plentiful Plants online class comes out next week, and the cards are so much fun. I've got really great fun folds included in here, 9 fabulous projects. The link to register for this, by the way, is in the description of this video. If you don't have the bundle, you can add it to your registration. And then here are my color and contour creativity to go kit this month is really great projects featuring this fabulous bundle, the color and contour bundle, which is for sure a staple every stamper needs in their collection. Both the stamps and the dies are really fantastic. And I have some awesome projects with this for planned. Don't forget, we've got our DSP sale happening this month. You get 15% off these 9 packs of DSP, Beauty of Earth, In Good Taste, Sweet Symmetry, Bloom Where You're Planted, In the Wild, Tidings of Christmas, and Penned Pansy Petals, and You're a Peach. Of course, when you spend $50 or more with me in my online store, you can receive a free Expressions in Ink All-Star Tutorial Bundle. It's a PDF with 12 fabulous video projects and lots of awesome projects and cool techniques in here. This is a not to be missed event. If you would like to just purchase this, you can also do that. If you don't want to get it for free, that's fine. You can buy it. It's $15. And I don't know if the link to this particular one is in my description. I'll put it in if it's not. Of course, when you shop my online store, if you could use the host code M774SPS3 this month, that would be great. If your order is over $150, skip the code and you will receive Stampin' rewards from Stampin' Up, which is really awesome, which they will give you free merchandise when your order totals $150 or more. And just about finally, tomorrow, the Fall Stampapalooza registration is going to open. This is a weekend virtual retreat, and just ignore my dates because they're all messed up. This is happening December 22nd through the 26th, and there's both a business portion and a stamping portion to this event. The business portion is 1 day. The stamping portion is for the full weekend, and it's going to be a really great event. We've got guest speakers, guest designers for displays. We've got amazing projects and all kinds of fun stuff, so you will want to be a part of that. And finally, the new catalog kickoff is happening starting August 3rd, and if you're a member of Stamp Happy Academy Basic or Premium, you will get this, and it's going to be really awesome. Lots of fun stuff planned. And show and tell. Thank you for reminding me. Show and tell. Let me show you my show and tell. Yes. So I've got some cards to share with you that came in my mailbox. Did I say December? I said it's September. Maybe it just sounded kind of the same. So the first thing, I love this card. This is just creativity off the chain. So this just made my day when it came. It says, just a little something to make you smile, I hope. And oh dear, did it ever. So this is the Badger Besties stamp set, as you might recall or might see, dressed in a kilt. I like to think of these as Clan Fraser colors, but I'm no expert. Anyway, so how cool is that? We've got a badger wielding sword on the front of this, and it said coffee, tea, Pepsi, or Jamie. It says, Dina, I know you have a great sense of humor. Thanks for all you do for your team and subscribers. And then Sassenach is in here. And this is what came with this fabulous card. This is from Teresa, who's on my team. And are you prepared for this? It's so awesome. It says, I don't feel like doing anything today except maybe Jamie Fraser. And there's a picture of him on the mug. Full disclosure, I showed this to my husband and he laughed. So I thought that was funny. Now this fabulous gift came with a bonus gift. It came with popping thingies. I love poppy thingies. I think these are just the best. And if I don't pop all of them, I'm going to use them on a card. But anyway, so I'm just going to hold on to that and keep it in. Okay. By the way, it does have a place of pride in my, oh, you're on here, Teresa. Thank you so much. I love this. It does hold a place of pride in my stamp room. I was going to put it next to the David, and I'm like, no, totally different. Okay, but I also received a few additional cards that I wanted to share with you. Here is a beautiful card. I believe this one was from Debbie Lindauer. I sure hope it was. Wait, maybe it wasn't. Oh, yes, it was. Okay, so this is so pretty. She used the color and contour, or not color and contour, Quiet Meadow dies and cut them out of the glitter paper. How clever is that? I just love that. So pretty. So that was from Debbie. She's very sweet. Here's another really pretty card. This is a retired set. I want to say it was like Bloom and Grow. I can't remember. But this is from Jen, one of my team members. And here's a cute little card. Isn't that adorable? This is from Joy, who's on my team. She is sending me a thank you card for a bundle that she received at our team meeting last month. Here's another really sweet card from Janie. She's in our Sunshine and Rainbows rack group, and this features the beautiful Queen Anne's lace. This is a card from one of my uplines, and that is with the Sending Sunshine stamp set, which is so fun. And she sent this with a cute little package of treats, which was so cool. This is another card from one of my team members. This is the horsefish. And this was just so sweet. So thank you, Sue Ellen, for sharing that with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you all so much. Whenever you guys send me cards, it just always makes my day. So I appreciate it. And I thought you would like to see all these beautiful creations that I received in the mail. So thanks, guys. I will see you right back here next week. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.